Hey neighbors, it's Murphy and me, and it's too hot for him today. It's 84 degrees. So Bermuda season has kicked off. He's going to find some shade. I wish I could, but the Bermuda is loving the fresh air and the direct sunlight. That's where Bermuda thrives. So today we're going to talk about doing some fertilizer, because it's prime time to put down fertilizer in your lawn. So don't put that off. Pick you out a fertilizer that has a higher nitrogen number. 20s, even the 30s is that first number on the bag. That's nitrogen. So if this one has a 24, that means 24% of the bag is nitrogen. That's what you want to look for. Here's 3 of my favorite fertilizers to use. You don't have to use them, but check them out. So let's talk about why we want to fertilize our lawn. Just to put it simply, it's just like we need to eat to get energy so that we can grow, so that we can be healthy, so we can move around throughout the day and do our normal things. We have to feed our lawn as well, because if we want our lawn to be healthy and grow and do what it's supposed to do throughout the day, we have to feed it. And nitrogen is something that the lawn eats a lot of, and it eats it very quickly. Isn't that right, Marty? So we want to keep nitrogen down on the lawn all season long. I put it down at least every 6 weeks just to keep the lawn nice and green and growing. And some of these actually have some iron in them, and that'll help give that dark green look to it as well. So every 6 weeks, put down some kind of nitrogen fertilizer, right, Murphy? Murphy's excited. He just saw a neighbor's dog down the road, so he's on patrol. But we're gonna let him patrol, and we'll talk about the lawn. Maybe he'll join us here in a little bit. We'll see. So one thing you might notice in my lawn are these brown spots where the lawn's not turning green at all. That's because it's spring dead spot. Every season I get a few of these. Some of y'all may as well, but every season I got a few. To this season it seems like they're a little bit bigger than normal, but I'm transitioning from the ryegrass to the Bermuda, so it's always a little bit slower if you're coming straight from dormant Bermuda. To me, the transition is just a little bit easier. So putting down fertilizer is going to help with some of these spots, because you're going to let the good green Bermuda around that grow through there. But I'm going to show you a little trick to speed up these dead spots and to get them to fill in just a little quicker. I got the Sunjo here that help cut into the ground. And here, let me just show you. Now, you don't have to use a Sunjo. You can use your hand, you can use your rake, and I'll show you both ways of doing that. Just a way to kind of speed up the process. Let's go. All right, Murphy's back to help. Look at him. When the sun's out, it's hot out here. He has black fur. He has to go find shade, and I don't blame him. So we're gonna let him find shade. He can join us when he wants to. So I'm gonna use the Sunjo to scratch up this area to try to break up some roots, try to encourage the Bermuda to start filling in these areas. And then we're gonna come back with a little bit of topsoil. If you got topsoil, some compost and sand, mix those 3 together, put them right there. Man, it's like a cure-all for these dead spots. I'm telling you, the Bermuda will grow right in there. But all I have right now is some topsoil on hand, so that's exactly what I'm gonna use. And I'll show you here in a second. Get this plugged in, and we'll be ready to go. So we got the Sunjo plugged in. If you're wondering what the Sunjo is, it's a Scarifier dethatcher. It has a dethatch attachment, which I've never used. I'm gonna tell you a little secret, I actually threw it away. I only use the scarifying attachment. Matter of opinion, whatever you wanna do with that, I don't care. But let me show you what this is. The Scarifier attachment has blades in here that slice into the ground through the roots and through the Bermuda, and it stimulates the growth. A lot of times pre-season, actually most pre-seasons, I'll run the Scarifier over the whole entire yard just to stimulate growth. But today we set it to be deep, and we're gonna run it right over these dead spots, and I'll show you what we're gonna do. Normally if I'm going over the whole yard, I'll just go in straight lines. But in this situation, I really want to scarify, tear up this little area of ground. Now, if you don't have a Sunjoe, that's okay. I recommend getting one because they're awesome. But if you don't have one, just get a rake and scuff up that area of ground really good, okay? Even if you get it all the way down the dirt, that's okay too. So I'm just gonna scuff up all these little brown areas real quick, and then I'll show you what to do with a rake. Just scratch it up, and then we'll put some topsoil on. There's some better stuff you can put down besides just topsoil, but that's all I have right now, so that's what we're gonna use. Most of the time my spring dead spot is not this bad in the front yard. Sometimes I get some in the backyard that's pretty good. But this is the worst I've seen in the front yard. But that's fine. Again, I'm blaming ryegrass, transition, all that stuff, whatever excuses I gotta make. But now it's just time to fix it. It's not time to freak out. Let's just take care of it. We're in the beginning of the lawn season, so we're not worried about this. Running over the green stuff, like it's gonna hurt it. If anything, it's gonna help it. Like I said, normally I'll go over the whole lawn like this, so I'm not worried about damaging the lawn. So I know some of y'all are gonna cringe when I do this, especially the reel mower people, such as myself, because there's a lot of junk in here, and I really should wait for topsoil, but I just don't feel like it. Let's do it. See all the junk in there? Now I don't want to pile this up. I just want to give it a thin layer. For the Bermuda to grow through. And all these sticks and stuff, they'll wash away eventually, but I don't know. Maybe it's not worth using potting soil because this stuff is like pure junk. Yeah, it's a lot of crud in there. I'm gonna go and say, just don't use the potting soil unless you have really clean potting soil. This is kind of junky potting soil. Potting mix, maybe that's the problem. But if you got really clean, use it. If not, just wait. I don't know if it's worth it, but I'm gonna keep going. How's it going? And really you can use straight sand. Just doesn't have any nutrients, but Bermuda will grow through straight sand very easily. Maybe that's what I should have used. But again, I didn't feel like going to the store, okay? It's just what it is. After we get this down, I'm gonna go ahead and water it in a little bit, just to make sure it doesn't go anywhere. Murphy, stay in the yard. Come on, Murphy. So we're just gonna water this in. Not really heavy, just wet it down. Hopefully you're using real soil and not this junk that I'm using, but it is what it is. Gotta water Murphy too. It's part of it. That's why we're a team, Murphy. All right, so we got the spots watered, we got Murphy watered. We're good enough for now. Now I gotta water the ferns for my wife. All right, Murphy, you weren't very much help today. But I get it, it's hot. So I did do some edging last week, I think. I hadn't put down mulch yet. I've been lazy this season. A lot going on, I guess. But we'll get to it, we'll knock it out. I'll show you the edges real quick before you leave. Get them edges really deep, as we always do. All right, so real quick, check out the edging. Again, we hadn't done mulch on it yet. But you can see how deep that is. Oh yeah, check it out. Come here, Murphy. Nice deep edges. Stay in the yard, Murphy. So we got deep on it, as we like to do. So maybe you can see how deep that edge is. So we got most of the bad spots. I got some topsoil in there, some potting mix in there. We'll see what it does. The rain will wash a lot of this junk out of here, like I said. And we'll see what happens. I think mainly just a scratching up of the surface. Even if you put sand over it, might be a lot better, especially if you're real mowing. And the nitrogen fertilizer is going to help that grow. That's it, really quick video. Put down your high nitrogen fertilizer. If you got some bad spots in there, scuff them up, let it fill in, don't freak out. We'll talk more about fertilizers and things coming up. I just want to make this quick video, get it out there so you can put down your fertilizer now, okay? Don't forget to hit that subscribe button, hit the like button. It's Murphy and me, it's the turf team. He's inside, it's too hot for him. I'm going inside too.